Hello guys, this is SRINIVAStheDEVELOPER from the Developer channel. Today we are going to solve the SKIDMARK daily challenge of 19 May 2021. Here we have something called Python class and objects problem, where they have given some predefined codes. Let me type those things first. Test 1, name equal to input, that's split. So this would be something called subject name. For my case, this is English. English first paper. And then test duration. Test one duration is nothing but integer value, and it's a single value. Don't have to specify split or strip because it will typecast those value. Even if I give some backslash or new line or even spaces, so we don't have to worry about those things. Here I am specifying this test conducting for 30 minutes. Yeah, and then test 2 now. Test 2 name is input dot split. In this test we are having something called Python. Python Python alone. This test duration is integer input, and it's happening for 45 minutes. Here we have the both the test name and test duration. We have to do something called creating an object, right? Test 1 equal to test of test 1 name comma test 1 duration. So it will obviously give me a error called class test is not defined. Here the name test is not defined. We have to define this class first, so I'm specifying class test. We don't have any what parenthesis there, and for each and every class the what memory should be allocated at the time of creating objects. Here we are creating this object for the test constructor. If you are familiar with Java class and objects, you may know what I am saying. For that we have to create some default constructor. In Python, the way to create a default constructor is defining a function with the name of init with the parameters self. Self should be act as a this keyword in Java. It will use it to reference the this value and that value, I will say in the next two line. For that they are passing two parameters, right? Here I am taking name, and here I am taking time. So we have to specify the value for this name with the test1 name, right? So for that case I am specifying self dot name equal to name. The reason why I am specifying self dot name is it will pass the value of test with something called at the time we are passing test of test name comma test duration. It will also pass this object test1. This object or the variable that we are declaring for object. For those case alone we are referring this self, and this self is nothing but for this case test1. So I'm specifying test1 dot name equal to the passed name, and here like self dot time, which is nothing but test1 dot time equal to time. We can directly access this value just like that. Here if I pass something, if I pass this value test1, so if I just use test1 dot test1 name, will get error because the test1 name is not defined in the class. The inside class we have defined the value as name alone. For that, if I give something test1 dot name, will get English one, I guess. Yeah, we are getting it. At this time I have splitted this value. I shouldn't do that. It should be strip. So if I give this, what we will get is the same list, I guess. Yeah, we are not past the original value. So if I create a object for the updated value, we'll get English 1 as a string. Whereas if I just use test1 dot time, we'll get the 30 minutes. But they have created another function called get name and get duration. So we can do that also with def get name of self. As I have told, at the time of passing an object or creating or calling an object, we indirectly pass the object to that class. To get that parameter, I am using self here, and what we have to return is self dot name, and also we have to create a function for duration of self, and I have to return self dot duration. No, it's time, right? Yeah. So if I create an object for test1 equal to test of test1 dot name comma test1 duration, and test2 equal to test of test 2 name comma test2 duration, we will like it's a structure thing in C, class object in Java, class and object method in Python also. Like in this case, we have created a memory space for this test1 name and test1 duration with the structure of test1. Simple words. We can directly access this test1 dot name alone, or you can call the function get name. It will also return the value test1 dot name. So we have to print the value, print test1 dot get name plus test2 dot get name. We'll get something. Yeah, I have already messed with this value also. Yeah, this should be strip. Python. So if I create an object with the updated value, we won't get this error because we can't able to concat string with list. Here we got English 1 plus Python, and we had print of test1 dot get duration plus test2 dot get duration, right? So we'll get something called 75. 30 plus 45, which is equal to 75. Now just for the here I'm creating a class test, and I'm creating a default constructor init with self and two arguments, name and time. You can use your own, but don't change this self. You can give or use whatever you want for the name and time. Here I'm assigning the value self dot name equal to name, and I'm assigning the value for self dot time equal to time. And here I'm creating a getter method def get name, the parameter of self, so return self dot name, def get duration, and return self dot time. Here this is the part test or the given code. Test1 equal to test1 name equal to input dot strip test1 duration equal to int of input of test2 name equal to input dot strip test2 duration is int of input, and we have to print or create an object test1 equal to class test of test1 name and test1 duration, test2 object for the class test with test2 name and test2 duration, I guess. Yeah, now we have to print the test1 dot get name plus test2 dot get name. Then I have to add the total duration, right? Print of test1 dot get duration plus test2 dot get duration. If I run this program after saving it, here I'm passing subject 1 and subject duration is 10 minutes. Subject 2, it happens for 20 minutes. We'll get subject 1 plus subject 2 and 30. If I remove this self here, we'll get some error. So through this you can learn why the self is S1 1, S2 2. Get name takes 0 positional argument, but 1 was given. We didn't pass any argument here, right? We didn't pass any directly, but we passed this argument something like what? So for your understanding, I'm trying this. Test one dot get name is also equal to the test dot get name of test 1. We'll get the same output for the both s1 1 s2 2. Here we got s1 and s1. This is how it actually works. It will pass this object to the get name function. That's why we are specifying self everywhere. That's it guys, that's it for the today's video. Hope I will meet you soon with something crazy.